She's a world champion boxer. She's got the belts, the titles, the millionaire headlines. But baby, this woman was allegedly so unbelievably terrified of her own cousin that she hired an entire security team and claimed couldn't enter the funeral, all just to keep her locked outside. Not a stranger, not an enemy, but her own cousin attending their grandmother's funeral. And when that cousin was completely turned away from the casket and started investigating, honey, what she uncovered blew this entire story completely apart. The cup is overflowing, baby. Everybody gather. So let's spill it. So let's recap this tea, baby. A fake protection order allegedly totaling $1,500 for one entire funeral. A cousin who actually stayed beside Granny, a gun at the door, and a Facebook clapback that carefully dodged every serious question. Now Tea with Stella wants to know, was this truly a legitimate safety concern, or did Claressa intentionally lie just to keep her own cousin away from that casket? And honestly, tell me this, would a real millionaire seriously only contribute $500 for her own grandmother? Team in one corner, Team Claressa in the other. Drop your final verdict down below because this tea is far too scorching to sip alone. Right now, everybody. And if you stayed until the very end, you already know exactly what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm Stella, and the tea always stays piping hot here. Watch this, baby. Shows up to say goodbye to her own grandmother and gets stopped right at the door. Why? Listen closely, everyone. Because Claressa allegedly hired a full security team and told the entire family she had a PO, a protection order against her own blood relative. They even called the police, and the officers said the magic words, "There's no proper paperwork available anywhere here." So did exactly what any of us would have done. She marched straight to the office to check, and baby, there was no PPO. At all. None. It never existed. So now the question is hanging heavy in the room. Right about now, honey, why would a grown woman lie about a protection order just to keep her own cousin away from a casket? Think about that carefully. Hold on to that thought because the answer comes later, and it all leads back to putting her granny in the ground. Now let's talk money, baby, because this is exactly where everything starts getting embarrassing. Here's your so-called $8 million millionaire, still flying around proudly selling the dream. But when the bill arrived for Grandma's funeral, totaling about $5,500, Miss Millionaire allegedly contributed just $1,500. Only that. That's it. Everyone else in the family covered the remaining balance. The police officer literally had to ask out loud who was actually paying. Receipt number 1, alleged gambling money with $20,000, $30,000 floating around. Receipt number 2, Grandma's funeral, only $1,500. Altogether now receipt number 3. This same millionaire was out selling $10 cups through Cash App and flying Delta Coach while telling everybody she's rich. Every single day, baby, that $8 million story has some serious holes. And honey, we're only getting started. Okay, let me slow this all the way down because this part right here isn't funny. For real. While Claressa was busy non-stop boxing, training, and chasing a married man around the country, do you know who was sitting beside Grandma during her final days? It was the very same cousin who was turned away at that funeral door. So, let me ask you something gentle and honest, baby. Tell me honestly, when Granny needed someone the most, who actually showed up? And when the cameras and the security team arrived for the funeral that entire day, who was putting on the performance? And where was Claressa's precious papoose, the man she supposedly left everything for? Baby, that man simply, truly, honestly didn't even bother showing up. Let that one sink in for just a moment. Now baby, remember that question I told you to hold on to? Why the lie? Why all that security? Here's the answer. Because reportedly, everyone allegedly pulled a gun on a security guard at the funeral. She said, and I'm keeping it a buck, she was fully determined and willing to die just to see her granny. Now honey, I'm not justifying anybody. But suddenly that entire hired security team doesn't seem quite so crazy, does it? Who arrives at a grandmother's funeral strapped. This is all alleged and based entirely on what's publicly out there. But baby, the tension at that funeral was real and it was dangerous. And still, even then, none of it explains the fake PO because a real protection order would have made every bit of this legal. She didn't need to lie, but she allegedly did anyway. That's the point. So what did Claressa say? Alright, so Claressa responded saying, here we go with the victim playing and lying again. It's never ending. Seriously, blood be your biggest ops. My patience is zero though. I'ma leave a person standing right where they messed up at, right at the door looking stupid. So yes, she directly responded to. I mean, who else would she be talking about? Think about it. So she's saying is playing victim and lying. Exactly. That's the message many people took from it. And that's what she posted on her Facebook page. Following that, after everything that had already unfolded, many people expected answers. Instead, Claressa took to Facebook with a message about betrayal, saying that sometimes blood can become your biggest opposition. That post immediately grabbed attention because it appeared during an already emotional week, and the timing only added more fuel to the online debate. Rather than calming the situation down, it opened the door to even more questions from people following the story. The comment section quickly filled with viewers trying to figure out who the message was really aimed at. Then another major point of public discussion started making the rounds online. Some people questioned how the public narrative lined up with reports claiming that certain family members were still expected to travel together for the funeral. Whether those reports were completely accurate or not, the internet immediately noticed what it saw as a contradiction. At the same time, many online viewers pointed out that other major allegations from the dispute still hadn't been publicly addressed. Whether considered fair or unfair, that silence became just as much a part of the story as the Facebook post itself. And the speculation only grew.